Today, I am going to talk to you about the water usage in Texas communities and some of the steps that the state is taking to help eliminate that waste. This is a huge topic not only for Texas but the world. First, I want to talk to you about the current water usage in our country and some of the facts to show you firsthand what we're dealing with. Now, typically, the average human uses anywhere between 50 and 200 gallons of water per day. That's insane. Although not all of us use this amount, so it's difficult to pinpoint an actual amount to one certain person or family, but we can all do our part in preserving water now and for the future generations. According to the EPA's website, the number one use of water by humans comes from the restroom. Some of the steps that you can take to help minimize this consumption is buy products that are labeled WaterSense. I took a little test on the EPA website called the WaterSense Calculator. This calculated my water savings. The results were astonishing. Just by replacing my toilets and faucets with the WaterSense product, I would save over 9,000 gallons of water annually. Just think how much water would be saved if every household took this advice. This is just one of the many steps that can be taken to help eliminate our water usage. Drought, irrigation, and fracking play a huge role in the state's water consumption. What is drought? Drought is a prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall. For example, the Texas Panhandle has an average rainfall of 22 inches per year, which ranks number 34 in the United States. According to the Texas results, Texas is the fourth hottest state in the U.S. Heat and drought don't mix. Any surface water that we do have evaporates at a very rapid pace in this state. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the supply of water to land or crops to help growth, typically by means of channels. Since this water is not readily available on the surface, it must be pumped from below the surface into these channels that funnel out to the crops. These crops are then harvested and used to feed the cattle that the state raises. Irrigation is a necessity, but with more and more people raising cattle and the lack of rain for our crops that are grown and harvested, it is in much higher demand. Without rain, the farmers and ranchers rely on wells that will water their crops to keep the agriculture running smoothly. I also mentioned fracking. Fracking is the injecting of fluid at a very high pressure into the rocks underneath the Earth's surface to purge out gas or oil. Fracking can be extremely hazardous to the environment and contains massive amounts of brine, toxic metals, and even radioactivity. In some cases, this water can be treated and then pumped back into the ground. There are studies going on to develop more ways to recycle the fracking wastewater every day. According to Ballotpedia, in May 2017, Texas had over 279,000 active oil and gas wells, each well consuming 2 to 8 million gallons of water, and some wells use even more depending on how many times they're fracked. There is much debate on the topic of fracking and the potential it has to harm the environment. The use of water is high, therefore it has a huge impact on the state's water consumption. According to the Daily Texan, there was an article wrote by Liam Versus about one of these steps that will be taken to conserve our water. Texas is a growing state and increases day by day. According to this article, Texas will increase population by 1.7 million by the year 2020. That's a large amount of people, which means more water will be used. With the temperature and population on the rise, our underground water levels continue to dwindle. One of the unique ways that Texas is heading off this potentially catastrophic event is by implementing One Water. One Water is the idea that all water has value. Whether it be stormwater, water runoff, or wastewater, this water can be transformed and recycled into good water that can be used for consumption. Water treatment plants are already in use in several cities across the U.S., and it is working. The process removes sediment, bacteria, and other impurities by using chlorine dioxide, and a combination of chloride and ammonia called chloramines to disinfect the water. This is one of the many steps that are being taken to get a jump start on the water shortage issues that is not in the so distant future. Water treatment plants cost millions of dollars, so I can understand why it is such a big investment. But we have time to do it and the system to achieve it. So why not start it now? So I gave you a lot of information in a short amount of time, but these are the facts about water consumption in our state. What are we going to do to ensure that our future is bright and that water will not be an issue? We as residents of this great state need to know the facts. Understand what we can do to make it better and then act on them. It is our job to ensure that generations after us have what they need to survive in this world. Thank you.